it's very empowering for women. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
There was definitely a bar where she said she doesn't want the nut, she wants the whole tree. And she had me clutching my pearls multiple times on this album. Like, ma'am, excuse me. It made me feel like I need to have on like a preacher's collar or something to get through it. But it was definitely interesting. But
let me put you on game.
Let's get into our next segment of the show. Let's talk about Megan Thee Stallion's new project, Something For Thee Hotties. It's a little bit, just a little bit outside of what we normally review. So it was a bit of a stretch for both of us. I think this is both of our first experience listening to an entire Megan project. If you're not familiar with Megan, she is a Houston MC. She is incredibly popular. You may know her from her Tina Snow mixtape or her debut album Fever, or songs like WAP, which, you know, makes every auntie's least favorite song playlist. But yeah, she's got a new project, and this is at least my first experience with a Meg album in its entirety. But what were your first impressions and overall thoughts on the Meg Thee Stallion album?
So it's actually a mixtape, and it's an interesting project to me. It's a very interesting project. It seems like it's just a collection of freestyles and B-sides that didn't make her last album project that came out last year. And it's really based on some of the messages that she left to fans, especially like the last track. It appears as though this is just mostly for her fans and her core audience that just loves her grittiness, her rawness, her confidence. And that is very much a part of this project. Her sexual prowess, her demands that she makes to her lovers, as well as the people that interact with her, and her high standards, which is really refreshing to hear from a female artist and perspective, because I feel like a lot of people expect women to be very reserved and demure or hold themselves back, and she busts out the door, breaking, you know, all of those rules, and just really stands out as an artist. And I feel that very much so in this project. It has a lot of fun bars and it's entertaining, but overall it's a bit repetitive. There's not a lot of experimentation. It's very by the numbers. It's short as a project overall, but a lot of different songs. And it's just, it's not 100% for me, I feel.
I echo some of those sentiments. I'm just gonna start calling things projects from now on, like you just did, because it's so hard to know, like, because back in our day, like a mixtape was something that you found like on DatPiff, or you had to download off of LimeWire, RIP LimeWire. But now, like, I guess yeah, sure, a mixtape that's released on Spotify for streaming profitability. Sure. But it's like, it's so hard. But like, yeah, sure, the Megan Thee Stallion project, it's certainly not for me. It's not meant for me in any form or fashion. Meg did not have me or anyone like me in mind when she made this, so for that reason it can be a little hard to connect with some of it. But I agree with the sentiment that a lot of this is repetitive. A lot of it doesn't really take too many risks sonically, but a lot of this is hard. Like, a lot of this is hard. Like, her beat selection on a lot of these tracks is great. Her flows are impeccable. I think a lot of male rappers could certainly take note of how well she rides beats, how well she uses her voice and her level of confidence, and how well she places certain words in certain places, and her level of breath control during her bars. Like, there's a lot of, like, because I just say male rappers because male rap is considered like the standard for a lot of people, and they like to, you know, quantify, you know, female rappers, or put them in a box and say, you know, like, you know, good for you, pat on the back, whatever. But I think that she is showing people that are the standard what actual really good lyricism and really good actual rapping technique is on a lot of this album, even if the subject matter and the hooks or the music itself doesn't always hit for me. I can appreciate what she does from just a purely rap perspective. But
Yeah.
let's get into the track list. uh she has a lot of freestyles to start out. She starts with tuned in freestyle. I really like her flow and her confidence on this. The beat basically sounds like a workout video, so you can pretty much guess that that's that's basically what it's for, whether it's, you know, twerking in front of the mirror or, you know, low-key twerking in the corner of the gym, whatever your taste is, it's probably what it's for. And she
Yeah.
got Megan Monday freestyle. I love the little humming sample in the background. I think again her flow on this is impeccable. And then you got that skit, and she moves into Southside Forever. And that one, again, I think is really hard. Her confidence on that is great. I love how clean her flow is. And then she goes into Out of Town freestyle as well. And that one isn't necessarily my favorite beat out of the freestyles, but I really enjoyed like how crazy she went flow wise on the second half. And
Yeah.
I'm not diving too deeply into the subject matter because a lot of it is like a little similar. It's haters, or it's like it's sexual, or it's like dudes want my, you know, goodies. And a lot of other variations of that. But I mean, you know, male rappers do it as well, where they stay into a certain pocket about their subject matter. I think she actually does it better than a lot of them do. But yeah, that's my impressions of the first leg of the album. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling similar. I think her flows were the tightest on this part of the album. Tuned in freestyle, she came with the energy. And I can tell she went to college because she said, send them itches to the gulag. I'm like, okay, you know what a gulag is? That's the Russian prison, you know, system during the Soviet Union. And I can tell that she has read history, which is refreshing to
Quite
hear
a
from.
bar, yeah.
Yeah. And then I like her line, N-words be blushing like Pikachu. I'm a heart girl feeling like Charizard. I'm like, okay.
I know you're gonna quote that. I knew you're gonna quote that.
Get some Pokemon bars in it. Like she loves anime, and I've always loved that element of her. And you hear that through some bars throughout the project. Megan Monday freestyle was fun. You know, she had some her subject matter is very not safe for work. And then she references some not safe for work Instagram accounts, like this dude, Mr. Almighty Waffle Man. He's always saying it's the X, Y, and Z for me. And so she used that repeatedly in this song, and that was a nod. So I remember referencing that. And then Out of Town freestyle, I actually like the polka dot. I call it polka dot because that's just what it reminded me of. It was kind of a synthesized beat, and I just love how her flow and cadence was perfect on that portion. It was really fascinating to just hear how well she crafted a flow and just went into like this nice zone and made that song really entertaining for me. And just good wordplay overall. Moving on into this next stretch of the album, Megan's piano was really funny to me because I was wondering if you were going to pick up on this. She basically ripped the flow from Vanilla Ice's Ice Ice Baby. If you listen to his verses,
on that.
You know, I like the piano, but what she does is, you know, she brings up a topic like nasty. I'm a really I ain't gonna say the rest of that.
Just don't bother trying to quote. We normally come with the quotables, but a lot of these quotables we can't even approach because yeah. Meg be on one with the bars.
But like, okay, so she's like messy, and I'm sick of y'all trying it, you know, whatever. She's going to say some lines. And Ice Ice Baby is Iceman. I'm the really like, it was a very similar cadence. And so I couldn't get that out of my head, and that just stuck with me for some reason. I had to make a note of it. And then, you know, she goes into the song Eat It, which is, it comes in hot to to say the least.
Yeah.
To say the least. And she just talks about sex in ways that I don't think any rapper has ever spoken about it, except for My Neck, My Back girl. What was the name?
Kaya,
yeah. She's bringing that energy.
I had to reach back in my brain. I don't even know how I got that so fast. I had to reach back in my brain for that one.
Yeah, and she does that on like every third song. And she's not afraid. Moving on to All of It. I like that beat actually surprised me. It was a very early 2000s inspired beat that I would have expected, you know, guys like Jay-Z or Dipset with Cameron to rap over. So she showed some range in that, and that actually kind of impressed me. And then moving into Warning, a very direct and clear message to the type of men that she doesn't want in her life. You know, she knows what she wants. She's not ashamed to demand it. And that hook was just hilarious to me. You know, she's hungry, she likes wearing bonnets, and she wants men that have money. There's a lot
Straight
more
to
to
the
it,
point.
but that's the overarching theme of the song. How about you? What'd you think of this stretch?
Yeah, Megan's piano was fun. I think it sounded like it was actually her playing the piano, and they turned that into a beat. And I think that's what they made it sound like, but it sounded really dope to me. Yeah, Eat It is I mean, it's a song that is fun, but it's not, like I said, it's one of the sections of the album that's not necessarily made for me, and that's fine. Like it's completely fine, but it is fun. It's the beat is hard. I think the bass is perfect for a sound system, even though you probably won't catch me like riding around to it in my spare time.
Yeah.
But she has some bars on there. It's very empowering for women. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
There was definitely a bar where she said she doesn't want the nut, she wants the whole tree. And she had me clutching my pearls multiple times on this album. Like, ma'am, excuse me. It made me feel like I need to have on like a preacher's collar or something to get through it. But it was definitely interesting. But I echo some of your sentiments too. I think all of it was a nice change of pace. I think that showed her versatility as a rapper. Warning was the hook was okay. I thought the song itself was fine. The beat was very like Two Live Crew to me. Yeah. Oh no, not all of it. All of it was the classic soul sample one, right? And then Warning was a Two Live Crew one. To move into Kitty Cat though, I actually like that one a lot. It sounded like a 17, like not 17, a 70s style blaxploitation beat basically. So I enjoyed that. The bass on that was hard. I like the Tina Snow interlude as well. I love how she kind of dives into like betrayal and hating, and that was more of a theme of the album, but she really got into it here. And then it kind of gets into a section of the album that I think is a little uneven for me. Like I think I didn't really like God's Favorite that much. Let Me See It was cool. I like the scratching on the beat. I like the outro from Bun B. I thought it was a cool nod. I didn't know that Tony Snow was one of Pimp C's like alter egos, so that's where Tina Snow comes from. I learned that like yesterday, so that was interesting. But yeah, you can get into this section if you want to as well. But I thought this is kind of where the album gets a little like hit or miss for me.
Yeah, you know, God's Favorite was interesting to me because she's talking in a way where she's, you know, thinking like, yeah, God must have my back because of the success and things I've been able to accomplish. And I wondered if this verse or any of these verses could have fit on Donda, you know, because she's at least referencing
Meg on Donda would have been a experience for sure. I don't know how well she fits, but yeah, it would have been interesting for sure.
But yeah, no, this stretch of the album was definitely on the duller side for me. I thought the scratching on Let Me See It was kind of annoying. So it made it a little distracting for me when I really tried to like listen in on it. Opposite Day it was okay for me. But I did like that line, and they both mean it. Yeah, that's a double entendre. I was like, okay, that's cool. That's cute. And then, you know, her bringing up One Piece, he keep begging me for One Piece like Luffy. I was like, all right, you know, like, you know, more anime references. I'm all for that. Moving on to Freakend was cool, fun, you know, relationship song, as well as Bagels and Pipe Up. You know, I want to get into the last song on the album, but, you know, which was the apex of this project for me. But I want to let you get into the rest of the stretch of this album first.
Yeah, this section it's just okay for me too. Opposite Day, I thought the sample was hard. It was a very classic Miami type beat. Freaking you might have I don't know why you just glossed past that one. That one was a lot. that one was a lot as well. she certainly had a lot of confidence on this one. You gotta love it from Meg. She definitely has a bar where she says she's surviving on her man's semen. So that was another moment where I had to, you know, zip up a jacket that I wasn't even wearing and cover myself. Yeah, she gets kind of into this place where the album is a little uneven. I didn't like Pipe Up that much. I'm not a fan of like melodic Meg as I am of Meg, where she's just hard hitting bars, like going for it with her flows. I thought, it was a little too poppy for me, but I do appreciate her changing up the pace a little bit on this section. Uh, and I think Bless the Booth was probably my least favorite freestyle.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little bland. I thought her flow towards the end almost saved the song, but I don't think it was necessarily enough. And the last track, Thot Ish, is a banger. It's hard. It's a twerk anthem, but it was definitely a really strong closer. I really liked it. But you get
Yeah.
into your thoughts on the
Oh
on the
yeah.
closing
I
track.
mean, Thot Ish was this is one of my songs of the year. I'm singing this all the time. In in the privacy of my home where no cameras are on, this song is on repeat verbally, and it's so much fun. Like I just can't. And there's this wonderful IG Reels clip of a bunch of anime characters twerking, and it's a perfect clip. I gotta splice it into this video somehow, and it's just so much fun. Especially after hearing that and watching that, it just makes the song so much more enjoyable for me. And she's really made OG Parker into a household name because if the beat live, Lil Juke made it.
Yeah.
And that so those two producing this song just made it so much more fun. And yeah, man, this is one of my songs of the year. It might make my end of the year playlist, but it might not because everybody knows it. I don't know how judicious I'll be with it. Maybe it might be on the last a bonus track, but yeah, Thot Ish, definitely my favorite song from this project.
Good to see that you got your hands on your knees and you're shaking ass. I'm really happy for you, bro. But yeah, it's a fun album. I think it's definitely one of those albums that could probably stand to have a couple songs possibly taken off and shorten it some. I think maybe, yeah, stuff like Bagels, like I don't know if I necessarily need that on the album, but again, like I am a fan of Meg. I love her features. I love a lot of the songs on the album, but the album isn't made for me. So a lot of the songs that I don't necessarily care for, I'm sure, the hotties or what, I'm sure they'll care for it. But let's get into our favorite tracks. I'm gonna go with Tuned In Freestyle. Let me get Megan Monday Freestyle. And let me get Thot Ish. And I'll take Kitty Cat.
Yeah, give me Thot Ish. Warning. Out of Town Freestyle. I had a lot of fun with that, and Tuned In Freestyle. I love the energy that she came in with that stretch of the project.
Yeah. So if you had to recommend this to our listeners on a scale of hard pass to it's a must listen, where would you put it?
I would say that this project, you ain't missing much, because the highs on this album or this mixtape project, whatever, were pretty high, but the lows were low, and there were a lot of lows. There were more lows than there were highs. And I also feel like between the subject matter and the repetitive nature of it, there's a lot of forgettableness on this project. Unfortunately, it's kind of bloated, even though it's only 47 minutes long. 21 tracks. It's a lot to get through and to pick apart each song individually. And so overall, it's fun, and I think there's some elements that I think have some staying power. But overall, you're not missing much. You can move on.
I disagree a little. I think that there are more highs than lows. I think that there are a couple uneven spots, but I would say at least like 4 out of 5 songs for me are likable, with some of them being like really, I think, really good tracks with really good rapping from her. So I would go a step above. I would say give it a shot. I think that if you're someone who's never heard of Meg, or like never heard her music in this form or in its entirety as far as a project, I would say give it a chance. Like, it may not be for you subject matter wise, especially as men. I think that we kind of like we're not used to hearing this kind of stuff, and it's very hard to put our, because sometimes with rap, like especially like when it comes to luxury rap or whatever, you kind of want to put yourself into the rapper's place, and for us we can't necessarily do that because it doesn't like it doesn't vibe with like the way that we operate on a day-to-day basis, so it's harder for us to like relate to it in that way. But I think that her flow and her ability to rap as well as she does, I think is undeniable.
Yeah,
I think
no,
that as she
definitely there.
grows in her career, she could certainly stand to expand to more different subject matter, because I think that she says things in such a unique, and I would even like it's vulgar, but I would also say that it's eloquent in places with her ability to articulate exactly what she wants when she wants it. So I think that she has a lot more that she could do lyrically and in terms of her subject matter. But I do think that it's certainly worth a listen. But that will do it for our Meg the Stallion review. It was certainly an interesting one. It was a little bit outside of our normal reviews that we tend to gravitate towards, but it was still fun. So we definitely enjoyed it. Let us know what you think in the comments or in an email, what you thought about Something for the Hotties.